Today we're talking about the incredible decision to provide free lunches to children, a shocking tale of an online scam that saw millions swindled and a life turned upside down, the mysterious case of a missing teenager who returned after years of being gone, and the latest indictments of former President Donald J. Trump. Hey there, Internet family. Welcome back to another episode of the Insight Hour. It's me, Digi, your host to all the things. So buckle up, hit that subscribe button, and let's get started. Alice, take us away.
The Pasadena ISD has announced that students will receive free breakfast and lunch for the 2023-24 school year, a welcome update after the cancellation of the program last year. The free meal program is made possible through a Community Eligibility Provision (CEP) grant distributed by the Department of Agriculture, aimed at providing free meals for low-income students.
That's right, folks, free food. Get it while it lasts. So according to the National Center for Children in Poverty, over 11 million kids in the United States live below the federal poverty line. That's 11 million kids too many not knowing where they're going to get their next meal. And when it comes to school, the numbers are just staggering. An article in the Denver Post estimate that up to 13 million children in the US go to school hungry. For comparisons, that's filling up the Rose Bowl over 145 times with hungry kids. Now some of you might be thinking, so what? Kids get hungry. They'll eat when they get home. But here's the thing. Studies have shown that when kids go to school hungry, they're more likely to struggle academically, have trouble focusing, and even experience behavioral issues. Sort of like trying to run a car without gas. Sure, you could push it, but it's not going to get very far. So thanks to the Community Eligibility Provision, CEP, or as I like to call it, the Children Eating for Pennies program, more kids will have access to meals at school. The program is set to start the first day of school, August 14th, so parents rejoice. No more worrying about packing lunches or filling out applications for free to reduced lunches. And kids, remember to bring your student ID to the lunch line. It's like the golden ticket to the Willy Wonka chocolate factory. Only this time, it's the school cafeteria. But hey, lunch is free lunch. In all seriousness, it's great to see initiatives like this. It's a reminder that even in tough times, there are still things to be grateful for, like free food. Now, if only the rest of the nation could learn a thing or two from this. We'll see. Alice, next story.
Alicia Navarro, a teenager who went missing 4 years ago, has been found safe and healthy in a small town in Montana. Alicia, originally from Glendale, Arizona, walked into a local police station and identified herself. The Glendale Police Department confirmed her identity with the help of her family.
So, a week before her 15th birthday in 2019, Alicia left a note for her mom saying she had run away, but would return home. Alicia's mom, Jessica, on the other hand, had suspected that her daughter might have been abducted by someone she had met while gaming online. The Glendale police followed thousands of leads after her disappearance. It was the first time Arizona had issued a silver alert for someone who wasn't an elderly person with dementia. Despite numerous tips and possible sightings, there was never any concrete evidence that Alicia had been abducted. Cue this week. Upon her return, Alicia expressed remorse for the pain she had caused her mother and hopes to move forward with her life. The circumstances surrounding her disappearance and return are still under investigation by the Glendale Police Department. It's easy to jump to conclusions when you hear stories like Alicia's. We might be tempted to label her a rebellious teenager who caused unnecessary pain and worry for her mother. But before you release the wrath of the internet on her, let's remember that Alicia was only 14 years old when she left home, a child by any standard, and that the world can be confusing and an overwhelming place for a teenager. And let's be honest, the internet can often exacerbate these feelings. It's possible that Alicia was dealing with issues that we can't even begin to understand and felt that running away was her only option. So until the Glendale Police Department completes their investigation, we should refrain from passing judgment on Alicia. She deserves the chance to move forward with her life, and we should support her in this endeavor. Unless it comes out she's some terrible child or something. In the end, the most important thing is that Alicia is safe and back with her family. We can only hope that she receives the support and understanding she needs to heal and grow from this experience. And that whoever had taken this child in from the internet, for the safety of others in the future, it's probably best that this person is found. If they got away with it once, odds are they're going to try it again. Now, Alice, big story.
There are new charges against former President Donald Trump and 2 associates in a case involving classified documents.
Wait. Alice? Alice? You're not going to elaborate on that at all, are you?
I'm not stupid, so feel free to carry on yourself.
Oh, you're just going to let me take all the heat for this, aren't you? So anyhow, Special Counsel Jack Smith alleges that Trump requested the deletion of security footage at his Mar-a-Lago resort to prevent it from being provided to a grand jury. Additionally, prosecutors claimed that Trump and his 2 aides conspired to keep classified White House documents hidden from the grand jury, including suggesting to one of his lawyers that he lied to the investigators. These new charges, if proven, could create a historic scenario that challenges the country's constitutional order. The special counsel is alleging that the ex-president deliberately obstructed and defrauded the government he once led and the rule of law he was sworn to uphold. Trump, of course, has already denied any wrongdoing and has already pleaded not guilty to the earlier courts in the case. His team dismissed these counts as an attempt by the Biden administration to distract from the legal problems of the current president's son, Hunter Biden. The new charges could potentially delay the case, which is tentatively set to go to trial next May. This could push the process further into the election season. As well, there's a possibility that the potential punishments, if Trump is convicted, could be even more severe. Trump has indicated that he's running for 2024 partly to reacquire the powers that could potentially wipe out the federal cases against him. The charges are also set as a new test for Trump's primary opponents, who up until this point have been struggling to define themselves against the popular ex-president. Trump and many of his rivals are due to appear on a stage at the Iowa Republican Party's Lincoln Dinner in Des Moines on Friday night. Now, seeing how this is a touchy subject and all, and I really do want to keep my views out of things as much as I can. Not that it doesn't show. I'm just saying, I want the space to be as welcoming as possible to all sides. So in that spirit, I really want to know what you're all thinking about this. How do you see the indictments of Trump? Do they help or hurt him in the election cycle? Are these just frivolous attacks, or do they have some merit? Let me know in those comments below. Alice, what's last on the list?
A 36-year-old woman, Peaches Sturgo, has been sentenced to over 4 years in prison by a New York judge for defrauding an 87-year-old Holocaust survivor of his life savings, totaling $2.8 million. Sturgo spent the victims on things including buying a home in a gated community, taking luxury vacations, and purchasing designer clothing.
So Peaches and the victim, unfortunately at the time of recording this, we couldn't find any information on the victim's name, had met on a dating website 7 years ago. And over the next 4.5 years, she convinced him to deposit money, amounting to almost $3 million, into her accounts for all sorts of reasons. Who knew catfishing had leveled up to shark fishing? And of course, what did she spend all that money on? Well, she lived the high life. She bought a home in a gated community, took vacations at the Ritz-Carlton, and bought tons of designer clothes. I mean, I've never seen such a perfect intersection of retail therapy and highway robbery. Anyways, the victim only found out he had been conned when he had told his son that he'd given all his money to Peaches, thinking she'd pay him back. As a result, he lost his apartment. And here I was thinking my last breakup was bad because I lost my favorite college hoodie. Now, the judges called her actions unspeakably cruel and motivated by greed. Yeah, you think? In addition to her prison time, she'd been ordered to pay back the money and forfeit her Florida property and over 100 luxury items. Well, I guess the saying's true, folks. What goes around comes around. And in this case, it came around in a big way. But hey, on the bright side, at least she'll have plenty of time to think about her actions in her new gated community, the state prison. Well, that about wraps it up for our weekday roundup. I'll be back with you Tuesday for the weekend show. I know the names need some work. Now that I said it out loud, it was a little bit confusing. Don't forget to subscribe. Love you bunches, internet, and I will see you next time.